Well, we're heading to Tuatapere now, where the small town is in shock after a seemingly random act of vandalism. More than 200 pine trees there have been poisoned on council land, and several macrocarpas have also been targeted. So joining me now for more is Community Board Chair Anne Horrell. Welcome, Anne. What do you know about how these trees were poisoned?
Thank you, Rebecca. Yes, it was quite surprising going back over a month ago that a member of our community, actually our last community board chair, Margaret Thomas, happened to notice that the stand of pine trees were yellowing. And if it wasn't that we knew that they were evergreen, it would look a little bit like autumn. But however, it was thought at first that it may be a pine tree blight. And so we got a hold of district council staff members, and they came and had a look. And one of the young chaps said to me when he first looked at them, he says, "Do you think they might be poisoned?" And I said, "Oh no, not in Tuatapere." And but he jumped the fence and the other young staff members, and sure enough, they came back and said they are poisoned.
Oh, wow.
And there is in most of them, at least one hole that's been drilled, and in some 2 or 3.
Because you think, Anne, that the culprits could have been back multiple times drilling holes and filling them with poison?
It looks like that, Rebecca. It looks like they've wanted to do the job properly and make sure that they are dying, because at the bottom of some of the trees, it was noticed that there was some fresh sawdust. So quite probably it hadn't been long before we were there that some more drill holes have been put in.
Well, it's extraordinary. The person seems to know what they're doing. And what,
Definitely.
Yeah, well, what many people will be wondering, and I'm sure you're wondering it too, is why would somebody do this? Any clues or any theories?
It's just beyond belief, Rebecca, that someone in this community, we pride ourselves on the beautiful environment that we live in, and sure, they were not native trees, but they were still a lovely stand of trees and very attractive where they were located. It just is unbelievable that someone in our community would be so determined with this act of vandalism that's been so deliberate and so determined.
And the police are now involved, but what do you think is going to happen to those trees?
Well, they have to come down, Rebecca. The whole stand, there is close to 300, about 270, close to 300 trees there, and obviously even those that are not poisoned will need to come down as well, because there's no way that they can be left standing and be able to support themselves. So the whole lot will have to come down, and as soon as possible. So a local contractor is looking at that in association with District Council and the Tuatapere Domain Board, and they will need to be harvested. How much value there is in them is questionable. Obviously, if they had been healthy, mature trees, they would have been there would have been a profit back to the community. But as it is, there may be very little, if anything.
Well, Anne, I wish you the best of luck in getting to the bottom of what's happened down there, and thanks so much for your time and coming on 8 o'clock.
Thank you, Rebecca. And I want to just say, Tuatapere is generally a wonderful place to come and visit. It's a beautiful part of the country, and most of the people here are lovely and friendly, and we love to see visitors.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anne.